So, at the most recent board meeting on March 8th, 2011, Ms. Carrol Cook clearly asked, what was the purpose for the current round of rezoning for the middle schools? And Mr. Touchton's response was to make seats available for the full-time gifted program at Dunedin Highlands Middle School. The school board was going to move 180 families, you see down here, 180 families around in a big circle in order to get a net change of 45 students. That's right, they were going to reduce the number of seats in Dunedin Highlands by 45 and increase the number of seats over here in Safety Harbor by 45. And thankfully the board got a little wisdom, thanks to so many of you for calling and emailing, and that they decided to scrap this plan of moving 180 students around in a big circle, again, just to accomplish their goal of 45 students, to effectively move 45 students. So what the board is going to propose is to leave this green section up here in Countryside in Safety Harbor. Leave this blue section up in Palm Harbor and leave this purple section here over in Dunedin Highlands, and then just move this middle section here. Well, that middle section that they're going to move from Dunedin Highlands over to Safety Harbor is 65 students. Now, no one at the board workshop asked Touchton or Dee Dee Burns the question, if we only need 45 students to be moved, 45 seat relief from Dunedin Highlands to increase the seats over in Safety Harbor by 45, then why are we going to move 65 now? Why not whittle that down, leave some of the students in the city of Dunedin over at Dunedin Highlands? They're going to move it just because that's the size that the chunk was, and nobody even bothered to ask the question. So we're asking the question. And here I want to show you the numbers that we looked at before. Okay? Safety Harbor, current enrollment, 91% capacity, is going to go to 94% capacity. Under the new proposal, in year one, remember, we're moving in incoming 6th graders. Now they're going to move 63. The real number Touchton used was 63. That takes the new enrollment there. So really, next year we go to 95% capacity. But the following year, right, this is a 3-year plan. You're going to bring kids in from 6th grade next year. And then the following year, kids are going to move in from 6th grade. So you'll have those kids from Dunedin Highlands along with the kids that you brought in last year. So that's an additional 63 plus or minus. So now we're at 99%. And then when this thing is completed in 3 phases, you got another 63 plus or minus. Stick with me. You're at 1581. You're at 104% capacity because you're moving 6th graders over next year. The following year, you're going to have those 6th graders who are now 7th grade plus the new 6th graders. And then in year 3, you'll have grades 6, 7, and 8 from Dunedin Highlands fully integrated. So they're planning to take Safety Harbor Middle to 104% capacity. Hello? That's the plan. So what are we doing, and why are we doing it? I mean, if in 3 years you're going to be at 104% capacity, then you've just put off a problem for 2 or 3 years that you're eventually going to have to solve again. And understand, voted as it currently stands, siblings in 6th and 7th grade that are at Dunedin Middle will stay at Dunedin Middle. So to vote for the plan this way requires you to split families, or if you allow siblings to go, the number could be higher than 65 in the first year. And again, why 65 and why not 45? This is the same problem that, we were giving a history lesson. And that the reason that the gifted program was put over at Dunedin Highlands Middle was because Safety Harbor was overcrowded. And Dunedin was, quote, an underchosen school. But now Dunedin is overcrowded. And if you read the letters from the teachers at Safety Harbor 2 is overcrowded. The numbers are comparable. But so now you got a problem over at Dunedin, and you're going to shift the problem back to Safety Harbor. And again, in 2 to 3 years, you'll have the same problem, and then you'll have to shift it back again. It's time to stop, gather the data that Mrs. O'Shea mentioned, that Mrs. O'Shea asked for. Do this in a comprehensive, clear-cut, massive way next year that you can sell to the parents, that we can buy into. Because all we're seeing, too crowded here, move it to Dunedin. Too crowded there, move it to Safety Harbor. In 3 years, too crowded there, move it back to Dunedin. Look at the history. The past 10 years. It's the same problem. McMullen Booth Elementary, split up 2 years ago, made into a bigger zone. You're now in a situation where you have to rezone the west side of the McMullen Booth Elementary zone because McMullen Booth is overcrowded. Long-term sustainable planning. This isn't the solution, not the one that's in front of you now. Stop, gather yourselves, think this through, get some more input from some more parents, get some input from the teachers, and do it right, as Janet Clark said. We've provided you with enough data, enough anecdotal evidence from the parents, enough reports from the teachers, that you can buy into what we're saying. I don't believe that you can provide us with a comprehensive argument as to why this needs to be done and why it needs to be done now. Add a teacher or two. Figure it out. Do the right thing. Please, for our community, for our children, for your own sanity, for goodness sakes. Let's put together a long-term sustainable plan that we can all buy into.